Okay. Hi, Ariane. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about all things weird but true Disney with you.
So, you are a senior editor at National Geographic Kids. That's like one of those dream jobs, yeah?
Yeah, it's really a dream job. We get to work on so many cool products like Weird but True Disney.
So, that's the book that you are promoting now. And how did this book come to be?
So we wanted to create something to celebrate Disney's centennial, 100 years of Disney, which has happened this past year. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but we are under the Disney umbrella. Disney owns National Geographic. And so we actually found it to be a pretty organic process, creating a weird but true Disney book, combining the power of our flagship Weird but True brand with this beloved brand, which is Disney, that is recognized around the world as well. There are a lot of facts about the movie making magic behind some of these iconic films, about things like, Disney's nature documentaries, Disney's um, areas of the parks that have animals, like, at Epcot or, Animal Kingdom. There are some fantastic facts about animals there. When we were putting this book together, I had actually kind of forgotten that there were animals at Disney. You can go see manatees bobbing along at Epcot and eating, they eat about 100 heads of lettuce a day. So if you're lucky enough to go there and see them being fed, which probably seems likely because I can only imagine how much time it would take to eat 100 heads of lettuce. They must be eating around the clock. Um, you get to look down and see the manatees bobbing in the water and eating lettuce. This book is really perfect if you are going to the parks, if you're going on a Disney cruise, you can see, some really cool Easter eggs at all these places and get some of the cool history that you maybe didn't even realize you didn't know.
I didn't realize there were animals at Disney. What besides manatees are there?
So there was Gino, a silverback gorilla at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And I have a fun fact about Gino. He celebrated his 41st birthday with a cake made of alfalfa, banana leaves, and sweet potato frosting, which I thought was awesome. And we have an amazing photo of Gino looking really majestic, looking off to the side in our book.
Gorillas live as long as people do, don't they?
I think so. I think they can have pretty long lifespans. Him being 41 was pretty impressive to me.
Yeah. So, how many of the weird but true books are there? This is a whole series, right?
Yeah, it's a huge series. It's been around since even before I started at Nat Geo. So before 2012. I want to say it was started in maybe 2010, but I might need a fact check on that. This book has, numbered weird but trues 1 through 10. It also has subject spin-offs. So for example, weird but true gross, weird but true Halloween, weird but true Disney. We've got a bunch of those, weird but true sharks, so many of those ones. And we also have spin-off series as well, like weird but true know-it-all, and a daily planner, all those things.
Okay. How long have you been with National Geographic?
I've been with Nat Geo since 2012, so it's been a while.
Yeah, 11 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you work from home or do you go to their? Do they have a big office or something?
Yeah, they have a headquarters in DC. It's actually being renovated right now. So if you go past Nat Geo headquarters, 17th Street and M Street, you'll see probably big machines in the courtyard. But it's going to be really exciting when it's all done. I've seen some of the plans and it looks really cool.
All right. So, is that where you work?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not in
Um.
there today though because of the
Oh,
construction.
right now, not. Okay. But eventually, you'll get there, right?
Yes, typically I would be in the office. We were working from home during COVID, but we're all back. And then now we're home again because of some of the construction.
Well, let's see. Why don't we do a couple of these just to wet people's whistle, as we say? a little bit for the weird facts. Now, was it difficult finding weird facts about Disney? Because Disney seems so, oh, I don't know, settled.
Beloved and
Yeah, and
known.
traditional and has been around forever. And did you have trouble finding strange things about it?
I didn't know what we were going to get into when we started this book. Um, but I would say it quickly became apparent that there was ample information about all things Disney that was mind-boggling and mind-blowing. So, I think that there's definitely enough fodder for even a second Weird But True Disney. There's so much to draw from, whether it's hidden things at the parks to the painstaking efforts that the filmmakers went to get every little detail just right. And to give you an example, the creators of Finding Nemo actually went scuba diving so they could see the main characters of Finding Nemo in real life and study them to make sure they were being captured accurately. Um, and you talk about a dream job. I cannot imagine what it must be like to be the creators of a movie like that, where you're having to go scuba dive to go see clownfish and angelfish and rays and all this stuff, and the creators of Ratatouille, they to have the utmost authenticity, they actually created in a real kitchen some 270 recipes from that film, and they ate them. They actually experienced them and tasted them. And I mean, I know that all these folks work incredibly hard, but I also can't help thinking they have such amazing jobs to be able to get to do things like that.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, what was the strangest one to you?
Strangest. I mean, there were definitely some things that were surprising to me, like some of the little like U.S. history elements, in some of the parks. Like I think the original Liberty Bell, the cast that was used to create the actual Liberty Bell was the same one used to create the Liberty Bell in Liberty Square in the parks. And that was surprising to me because it was like this added element of like historical accuracy that I'm just surprised that someone took the time to do. It's really kind of incredible. So I don't know if that's the weirdest fact. That was definitely a surprising one for me. Another weird fact that was surprising is that the creators of Frozen um, actually met with a NASA scientist who's an expert in snow. His nickname is actually Dr. Snow, and they met with him to learn how snowflakes are formed. And I found that so fascinating because if you tasked me with creating snow, I would find a black piece of paper and I would do a million little white dots, like that's what I would do. But it was amazing to me that these animators wanted to understand how they formed to inform how they create snow for this animated film. Um, and I think it just goes to show that Disney films are really reflecting the real world back at us in this beautiful, authentic way.
How long did it take to put this book together?
We've been in production for probably, I want to say it's been a year and a half, maybe even longer. Because we get the idea, we acquire it, we start production on it. But there were a lot of people throughout the entire process who were weighing in. We worked super closely with Disney, and I think we're fortunate in that we are under Disney. So we had all these contacts over there, and we could go to the Disney archivists who have worked with Disney and worked at Disney for decades. I mean, there are these magical people who just live and breathe this kind of information, and they didn't even have to like look stuff up in a database. I mean, everything was corroborated, because we were talking to the princess experts and the parks experts and the Toy Story experts. there are point people for every single facet of Disney. It's amazing. But when you start off with the archivists, they just know so much of this information off the top of their head. There's so much institutional knowledge that they carry with them. And it was a beautiful thing to see, because you can see how much they love the brand. They love Disney. And I hope that this book, Weird But True Disney, helps convey some of that same love to kids, because I think, one of the cool things about Disney is it's the sense of magic and this sense of like, the real world being reflected back, but in the best possible way, the best things. And, this sort of reassuring sense of everything's going to turn out okay. And I think kids and adults alike find that lovely and comforting.
Okay, that's a nice sentiment. Is the book primarily for the park or exclusively for the park? Or is it Disney altogether as a corporation?
Definitely Disney altogether. There are tons of facts in here about the parks, yes, and like funny little nuggets of information. But there's definitely other stuff too, like real world inspiration for some things in different movies, or things about the films. Tons of information about that. What animals inspired the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. Things about the Disney nature films. How much fabric was used for a specific dress in The Descendants. There's so much in here that I think would delight fans of Disney, but also, kids who are just starting to go on that journey.
Okay, what is the target age range for these books?
Typically, it's 8 to 12. Although I will say that not only am I delighted by this book, I know that there are some adults in my life who love it and have already. The photo editor on this book is a huge Disney fan. So it was nice to have her on the project as well. And she also helped vet the information. She actually got an advance copy, went to Disney World, and found a lot of the things that are mentioned in the book. For example, like the manatees being fed 100 heads of lettuce a day. And she filmed the book with the fact open next to what we're talking about in the book. And it was like sending it to us. And it was really cool. I think if a kid in your life or you, or, someone in your life is going to Disney or a Disney park, this is a really fun book to bring with you, because I think you'll get some history and some like background information and like little nuggets of info that you might not even realize you didn't know.
Well, I think on that we're going to have to wind this down. Thanks so much for coming on. The book is called National Geographic Kids Weird But True Disney, 300 Wonderful Facts to Celebrate the Magic of Disney. And you want to give out a website for the book?
Sure. So this book is available wherever books are sold, your favorite local bookstore or Barnes& and Noble, Amazon. And you can also go to kids.nationalgeographic.com to get a little bit more information. And it's just a fun resource for kids in general.
Okay. Well, Ariane, thanks so much for coming on. It was nice meeting you, and best of luck with your work.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.